Hello and welcome. My name is Lisa DeAngelis. I am the founder of Dragonfly Coaching, as well as the director of the Center for Collaborative Leadership at UMass Boston. I hope that you are joining me because you are looking forward to an interactive session, because that's what I'm intending to do here. We're going to talk about the power of community. So what do I do? When I talk about my function, I talk about helping individuals, particularly leaders, shift from knowledge to wisdom to action. What does that mean? Very simply, using an example that everyone can relate to, everyone knows that smoking is bad for your health. There's been plenty of research out there on this. It is indisputable, and yet knowing is not enough. The wisdom is the why. Why is it important for me to stop smoking? Once a person understands their why, they can create a plan to get there. So this is my knowledge to wisdom to action. If we can get you from knowing what you want to do to moving into why it's important to you, we can create a plan to get you there. Over the course of the many years that I've been doing this, I created a framework. And because everyone loves an acronym, it's called the SOAR model. What we're going to focus on today is the A in the SOAR model, aligning your resources. So what do I mean by resources? Resources in this case are people. Right? These are, and I call them your tribe or your local guides. And we're going to get into both of those in just a moment, but your tribe are those folks who are in it for the long haul. Right? These are the people that you want with you every step of the way. And your local guides, well, these are the folks that you need at this moment in time. Right? So for this piece of your adventure, some information or skill or support that you need, those are called your local guides. So we're going to spend the next few minutes actually getting you to think through who you have and who you need in each one of these groups. So your local tribe. Think about these as the people who are more invested in who you're becoming than who you've been. These are the people who you go to when you need someone to cheer you up, cheer you on. You need someone to dust you off and pick you up. You need someone to give you a firm kick in the butt. You need someone who can just hold up the mirror and help you see where you may need to make different decisions. So I've given you a few different ideas on what constitutes your tribe. What I'd like to have you do is just take a moment for yourself and write down who's in your tribe, right? So who would you go to if you needed someone to cheer you on? Who would you go to if you had just had something happen and you really needed someone to help you put it in perspective? Who would you go to if you were contemplating making a radical change and you needed someone to help you think it through? So just take a moment and list those out for yourself. And then what I'd like to have you do in the chat box is just put the number of names you came up with. Edie, thank you. 4, 3. All right, we've got some coming in here. Right. This is not unusual. 5, great. Right. What we don't want is for it to be 1 or 2 people. It's too much of a burden on that small subset, and you also want to have different perspectives, different voices that you're hearing from, and different ways that you can go to them. It doesn't mean that people sit in one discrete box, right? I only go to you when I need you to cheer me on. They will play different roles, but you want to make sure you have a strong tribe. So I typically say between 4 and 6 people is great. Let's talk for a moment then about what the difference is between your tribe and your local guides. So the way I describe your local guides is, think about it like the Wizard of Oz. Right? When Dorothy first arrived in Oz, she needed someone to tell her there's the path, there's the yellow brick road, and you need to follow it. And that's what we're looking for in our guides, right? I don't need you to be on that path with me. I don't need you to take me all the way to Oz. I just need you to tell me where I need to start. So as you think about the goal that I asked you to set for yourself at the beginning of this session, local guides that can get you there, right? Who are the people who are doing it now? Who are the people who have information or resources or experience that you could benefit from at this moment in your journey? Those are your local guides. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to get very creative. And I'm literally going to say we're going to give you a minute to do this exercise. And I want you to list as many resources as you possibly can, as many local guides as you possibly can. Get really wild and creative. And then when you're done writing them down, I want you to pop one in your box. And if you would, pop the one in that surprised you the most. Yes, in this case, we are talking about people. People may, in fact, be an association or a cluster of people, a conference that will get you closer to your goal. So if you want to look at it that way, what it isn't is a system or a data or a book. I hope that helps with the question, but if you still have questions, please do pop them in and I'm happy to answer them. Winnie, when we talk about SOAR, it's setting your intentions, it's optimizing your obstacles, it's aligning your resources, and it's reaching new heights. So that is what SOAR stands for. Thank you so much for asking. All right. So I've given you a minute. I've given you a bit more than a minute. Come on, gang. Let's put in some of those resources that you are really interested in. And the reason that I had you all, as you entered the room, enter your name and your title or your major, and a goal that you've set for yourself, is because you can all look back at this and see how you can either find guides based on who's in this group or be a guide, right? Because we are both for individuals and others. So we've got a few minutes left here. And what I would love to do, if one of you would want to join me in this chat, and we can go through and help you think about the guides that you need right now, right? We can crowdsource this experience. So if you are willing to do that, we're going to find out. One request in the queue. Let's see. All right, so it doesn't seem that I can get you live into the session. I'll volunteer. All right, so Paula, unfortunately, we're going to have to do this via chat message in the side box because I can't figure out how to get you. Oh, hold on. I think I just did it. No, I invited you to a private meeting room, so that is not going to help you. All right, so let's go back and we're going to just work it this way. So what I'd love to have you do is tell us the goal that you're trying to accomplish and give us some of the local guides that you have come up with. And then for the rest of us on this call, the plan here is to get creative and really help Paula figure out, are there other local guides that she hasn't considered that will help her at this point in her journey? And I've given Paula a lot to type up, so I am sure she is working on getting that into the chat. And while she is, I would love if others of you have ideas that you would like to run by the group around? Okay, so she's graduating with an MS in business, tech, and design from the US and looking for jobs, but having a hard time landing roles. Okay, from USC. Thank you for that clarification. All right, so gang, what are the resources? Right? Who are those local guides that could help someone who's graduating with a master's start to navigate the work environment, particularly when we're talking about being in a pandemic right now, right? A very interesting time trying to interview. So a few questions that I would ask. Yep, professors are great. Right, she's tapped into career services at the university and peers, career contacts in other companies, but haven't had no luck. Virtual job fairs, absolutely. So local connections, what do you mean by local connections? Career boot camps, yep. So it's been 3 months without an interview. One of the things that I would say in the interview process is look at every opportunity as an interview. Are there people who you can interview, right? To start to refine how you're thinking about this job search and what it is you want to do with your degree. Can you get creative? Right? So one question I have as we think about your situation is who else from the university is graduating with that same degree? Who's graduated in the past 5 years with that same degree that you may want to reach out to because you have, yes, the alumni network, there you go. You have the alumni network there as a resource for you. They may not be able to land you a job, but they may be able to tell you how they landed the job. They may be able to tell you who to talk to. They may be able to give you additional resources within their organizations. There's an Indeed recruiter looking for talent circulating in women tech today. Fantastic. So the alumni network has been unresponsive, which tells me that we're doing it through the university. Right? So if the only outlet we're using is going through the university, then there may be difficulty, particularly now, in trying to get responsive responses. However, if you go through LinkedIn and look at who's graduated from your university in the past 5 years, who knows who, right? So one of the things that I work with folks on is build your bullseye. So it's not just who's in your first degree of relationship, but who's in the second degree and the third degree that may work at organizations that you're interested in, or have the same background as you, or have a job title that is something that intrigues you based on your background. So we've got some of the job boards and things like this. I completely agree, Edie, that it is much more difficult in the COVID environment. It's not impossible. This is about really getting creative and really starting to think broadly about where do these folks reside who have the types of roles that I'm interested in, and then who are the companies that I'm most interested in working for, and how do I get creative about figuring out ways to find out more information? Not necessarily getting that job, but what's going to lead me on that path toward that job, right? Those are your local guides. Impossible itself means I am possible. Very good. I'm super discouraged. Paula, I am happy to talk to you afterward and help you get out of that discouraged space, because I know how taxing it can be. The job search environment is really difficult right now, and we need to make sure that we are supporting one another. So good on you for being here. And what I would say is get really creative with folks, right? Who do you see in this list who is participating in this particular session who might be able to act as a resource for you, act as a guide for you? Are there any of these thoughts or ideas that you're looking at and saying, well, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Reach out to that person and have a discussion and see where that leads you. Right? Everything here is about getting curious and getting creative. Look at this. Edie is saying she's here to support you any way that she can. And you've got so many other folks saying this as well. So please take advantage of that. I know we've got just a few minutes left, and so what I want to do is share with you the fact that we've got, I've built for you a worksheet, because this is not something that you can accomplish in 20 minutes. So if this is something that you want to sit with and really work through and get creative about how you build both your tribe and your local guides, please don't hesitate to access this resource and use it as you need to, and reach out to me if I can be of any support to you. I'm going to spend just a minute going through the chat and seeing if there is anything that I've missed. Anybody who wanted some help or clarification that I did not yet respond to. I applied to Netflix at 3 different levels, even below my level. Right? So this is interesting. Who works at Netflix? Who has worked at Netflix? Who may be 2 or 3 degrees separated from you and can give you some insight. It's hard for students out of school in any environment. Yep, absolutely. Perfect. All right, so it doesn't look, I'm looking through here and it looks like you do have a ton of support, Paula. And it does look like you've got folks willing to introduce you to people in their network. That's how local guides work, right? This is really about who do you need in this moment and how can they help? And just as you ask for help, you also give help. Right? So this is about thinking who needs local guides right now and what can you do to support them? So thank you so very much for joining this session. Again, my information is here. Please do not hesitate to reach out. And I'm grateful that you think this is good insight and active participation, because this is something that you want to actually be able to make use of as you walk throughout the store and as you participate in the rest of the conference. Get really curious and make so many connections, because you do not know where they will lead today or in the future. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to stay on for just a minute in case anyone has any questions that they want to ask. But other than that, enjoy the rest of this conference. Get into that networking space, get into that Career Expo space, and really take full advantage of this event. Can you put the PDF in chat? I don't think that I can put the PDF in chat, but I can put the link in chat for you if that makes it easier. Let me do that for you. Yep. ETBID. I believe that the presentation in its entirety, the slides and the voiceover, will be available once the conference is over as a recorded conference. If in fact that doesn't happen or you can't access it, please do reach out to me and I'd be happy to give you the slides for sure. All right, I think. Look at all the people who are connecting with one another. Fantastic. Do take full advantage of this program and take care.